So this contest against Mathieus Germain, or Germain, not too sure how you say it, it's kind of almost like not a final eliminator, but at the end of it, is you hopefully we'll finally get the title shot. Was there any thoughts to just sit on your title shot? A lot of people they kind of just sit on them for years, but was that ever an option for you?
I mean, I could have done, but I just wanted to stay active. I wanted to keep that momentum going. So we said, look, if we can get the arena, the fight there. Obviously, we couldn't get the Sheffield arena, but the smaller one can and get the fight. I want to stay active, and I want like you say, it's going to put me in good stead. I want to stay active, put a good performance in, and then chase that WBC spot.
Obviously, the Martin and Puello fought a few weeks ago for it. Did you watch that?
I seen bits of it. Do you know what it is? I don't watch too much boxing. I try and once I leave the gym, you have to detach yourself a little bit while you drive yourself nuts. But I've seen enough of the fight. I didn't sit and watch all of it. But I thought, from what I've seen, I thought it was obviously a competitive fight, pretty close. But I've seen enough.
In terms of both fighters, Sandor Martin, I compare him to a gym mate of yours, Harry Scarf. Yeah. One of them people just you can't look good against, kind of. So you're quite happy that you get Puello, somebody you're not going to have to go looking for.
But do you know what? Either one of those I'd have been happy with. Sandor Martin. Do you know what the funny thing is? So when I was Sean, how many fights in was there when Sandor Martin's name come up?
English title.
7 fights. So I fought Leapio's English title. I'm 7 fights in. We got offered the Sandor Martin fight as a stepping stone, and then we was like, he's a good fighter, this guy, and obviously it turns out he's a world level fighter.
European champion at the time.
He was European champion at the time, so it was like, whoa, like I'm a young kid, let me develop a little bit, and I could have nearly fought for a world title against him, not a European. Obviously he's a good operator, so I've been familiar with him for, like you say, a good 10 fights ago. Obviously either one of those I'd have been happy with.
In terms of Puello, I know you've got this opponent, but you can't help but look ahead to him because I'm sure his voluntary will be an easy voluntary, so it will most probably be him as the champion. How do you rate him and how do you beat him?
It's be Dalton Smith. The best Dalton Smith turns up, I believe, can beat any of him. So, hold on.
None for you, mate.
But I just think, obviously, me turn up, me be the best version of me is, I'll be a world champion, most definitely.
One thing I find quite strange at the moment, I remember when, about 10 years ago, we seemed to have a world champion in every weight division. Like Joe and Crawler, we had Flanagan, like Lee Haskins, all these champions, and now we've got 2. They're both in Queensbury as well, so you're one of the only UK fighters who've got themselves into a nice position where they can potentially win a world title, and you could be potentially only matchroom. Why do you think we are lacking those kind of world level fighters at this time?
I don't think I'll be able to answer that one. I'm not sure. We've got the talent there. I feel like we've got the talent there is probably some of the best we've got. I don't know. As long as I get my world title, I'm not bothered.
Do you feel any pressure in the sense of because we don't have these headline acts really anymore? I'm just like people who sell out arenas, and you've been doing it, and a world title just kind of adds to that, doesn't it, to keep that kind of run going? Do you feel like a pressure to I need to get this world championship?
It's not really, because we've done all this work to get these rewards. We want to sell arenas out. We want to win world titles. So it's not pressure or anything. It's like, fucking hell, I want it all. So. I always said there's only pressure if you put it on. By pressure or what? To not impress somebody else. I'm doing it for myself and everybody around me. So, I'm good.
One thing I wanted to speak to you about was something that's come up in the news. Is obviously the Olympics we're confirmed. The boxing is confirmed for the next one. You're somebody who left GB before an Olympic, and you're finding it happen a lot more now. Like the 2 world champions we had never went to an Olympics. Why was that an option? Why did you not stick around for an Olympic Games?
Do you know what? At the time, obviously, I turned over with the weight changings and obviously my hand injuries and stuff. And I just feel like I lost a bit of love for boxing. I've done 5 years on there. It's probably one of the best decisions that I made. Obviously, COVID hit, the Olympics got held back here, and you look at the position I'm in now compared to the past Olympians. I just think it's a shame, really, because you look back at the days when there was like Amir Khan's, James DeGale, how big the Olympics was, but you don't really get that recognition now. And it's like, who talks about Tokyo at the time? When London was on, and everybody talks about the Olympics, and I just feel like it's died down a little bit, which is a shame for me, because I think to become an Olympian is probably one of the, especially in boxing, it's so hard to do. So hard to do.
Is there a kind of thing of that on the squad that it just doesn't mean as much to the fighters as it used to?
Well, of course, because if there's no end goal to, obviously for a boxer, is to become a world champion as a professional, and the goal of that was you win an Olympic medal. When you turn over, you're going to get signing on fees. Like it used to be, big signing on fees and stuff, but they're not really there now. Just because you win a medal doesn't mean you're going to get some big contracts. Obviously it helps, but not like it did years ago. So I just think the incentive for the fighters, it's like, I might as well just turn professional.
And now in terms of Germain, because we've got to speak about him,
Yeah.
He doesn't have the biggest name, but he's actually a dangerous opponent in terms of, in America, I think they rate him a little higher because he's got that draw with Steve Claggett, who obviously gave Teofimo Lopez hell. Just in terms of how much of a threat does he bring to you?
It's a fight. He's coming to knock my head off, so that's the big enough threat there. But I just feel like I'm becoming in the better years of my career now. I feel like the next couple of years I want to come into my prime, and I just feel like I'm going to be able to show my level. I'm going to put a great performance in it. And I think it's going to be a stamp to say, look, this is why I'm number one mandatory for the WBC.
You've not really been pushed as a pro. You've kind of gone through every opponent. One of my friends, Sam Maxwell, quite easily. Do you think this might be somebody who's coming to win, who's boxed at that higher level, might actually finally bring something that we haven't seen out of you?
I can't say that because I boxed a pedo last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I boxed a pedo who's boxed at a high level. Dangerous, beat some bigger names, and I came through that. Like I said, Sam Maxwell, big punch. Like everyone who's big, I just feel like whoever you put in front, I'll be able to up my level. I'll be able to up my game. And even for illnesses, you know what I mean, still come through it. So whoever you put in front of me, I'll prove why I'm better because I'm a level above them.
In terms of, there's a domestic fight that always gets spoken about with you, which is Azim, which I'm not going to ask you about. But Jack Catterall is one I'd like to ask you about because I spoke to Jamie Moore recently, and he said, look, that is something they've got a lot of respect for you and your dad. Yeah. Like, there's no bad blood there at all. But that's something they'd love, obviously, with your position with the WBC. Yeah. I think it used to be maybe you were looking at Jack, but now it's the other way around. Yeah. Is that something that would interest you maybe after the title or before?
Of course, boxing's a business. If it makes sense, then it's a fight. Of course, there's no bad blood there with me and Jack, but as a fighter, you need the British dance partners. And like you say, if it makes sense, if it's a good business, makes sense, then so be it, of course. But like you say, obviously I've got a lot for Jack because he helped me for my development growing up. Obviously I used to go up there sparring with him and stuff, but Jack's obviously he'll be chasing those big names, the big fights, and of course he's a world-class fighter.
In terms of his performance against Barboza, did you see anything in there that maybe gives you a little bit of confidence heading into a fight against him?
I just think me on my day, I'll beat anyone. I don't need confidence from somebody else's other performances. At the end of the day, that's world level. It's the fine margins, and it was a close fight. So I'm not going to take confidence from someone having a loss. I know what I'm confident from my own abilities, and Jack for me is a world-class fighter. So is Barboza.
And in terms of every young amateur always dreams of having a fight at their local football team. I know you've always spoke of Hillsborough. Is that the type of opponent that could potentially make that happen? Yeah,
I suppose to sell out a football arena, you can't just have a gimme name. You need a household name, whether that's a big American name, a big British name. And for me, the Azim fight is a bigger fight than Jack Catterall, 100%. So yeah, you need a big name to sell out an arena like that. You know, you had Kell Brook, Errol Spence. He wouldn't have been able to do that against just a normal domestic name. You need that right dance partner.
In terms of that Adam Azim fight, have you, in a way, almost given up on it?
I never started in the first place, so I wanted the European title. But of course, he's gone down a different route to me. I want to be a WBC world champion, not IBO. So of course, he's gone down that route, and maybe one day we'll meet.
Do you think once you've picked up that belt, maybe it might interest him a little bit more?
Not really, because I'm not gonna give him an opportunity to fight for a proper belt when go and fight a bigger name, go and fight as a Peter, go and fight one of those household names. Then he's in his spot.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you.